Okay, we're live.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order. We got a lot to cover. Minutes and reports received and filed?
None.
None? Liaison reports, upcoming meetings and events for commissioners?
Hell, I'm not ready. Go ahead.
No meeting this week.
Okay,
Just teasing. Go ahead, Sam.
I got a reception tonight for MU Chancellor Lofton. Thursday's communities meeting. Friday, I got dinner with Congressman Luke DeMeyer. Saturday's Multicultural Fest, and then the NAACP dinner at Capitol Plaza. Sunday, HCJ has a meeting at the old fire station number 2.
You go to all those things? Or are you just telling us?
I try to go to all those.
Better man than me. I guess you don't have 4 kids though, so.
No. I don't have time to have 4 kids.
Yeah. I don't really have anything.
Got Eastside Business Association meeting Friday. Good. Russellville Tractor Pull Friday, Saturday, don't miss that one. I think that's about it.
Okay.
Some pins.
Are you going to that?
I don't know yet.
No.
I might be in St. Louis at a ball game.
So I'd let everybody know you're coming.
Kids'
out there
ball
to play
games.
Ginger.
If my kid's not playing ball, I have him drive me out there.
Okay.
Okay. Bids and contracts. Signing of WebGIS Solutions contract.
Okay, this is the actual contract for the website redesign. And Jill's already looked at it. This will also have a copy of it put with the city-county agreement for payment. But that's for the new GIS website. And this place to sign is on the back.
This was all budgeted, right?
Well, it was approved. We're gonna pay half and the city's gonna pay half. I'm sorry?
Auditor statement for it too. The auditor statement, Kristen signs.
Oh, well, doesn't have a spot on there for her, but can we add that on there? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Can't see that, but I'm liable. What's our cost on it?
3,000.
3,000 per year.
This is just a
Fixed.
one-time, yeah.
Okay. What's this, 6,000 includes functionality listed?
Yeah, 6,000 is total cost. The city will be paying half of it, we'll be paying half of it, so, and it's just an upgrade from our existing Silverlight site, which is, not compatible with a lot of, the browsers now. A lot of people have been having problems with it, so, this will be more, functional for us, be able to use it on tablets and mobile devices.
You know, I don't really have a problem with this. Sorry, I'm not recording here, but anyway, it doesn't really outline who's paying what.
Well,
That's a separate agreement with the city.
that was signed last
And
week.
we've been negotiating the language back and forth, but I have that agreement and they pay.
So
half.
wouldn't we want to attach that to this?
This will be attached to that.
Okay. You good with that?
Yeah, I should have probably brought that last week with the other agreement.
So I move that we approve and sign the agreement with ArcGIS, is that right?
No,
WebGIS.
website.
WebGIS Solutions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Service Bridge contract renewal.
This is just a product upgrade agreement with our documentation software that we currently use. There is no change in price. Alls it is doing is just upgrading from a service that we already have to a new product. Just a straight line, no changes, just a name change.
So you're changing products, or it's just a name
Product is
change?
the same, it's just a name change.
Okay,
Nomenclature.
just different vendor, or?
No, vendor stays the same.
Okay, so the name of the software is changing?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Okay. You guys got any questions or comments?
No.
I move that we sign the software licensee agreement with Image Trend Elite Products.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
County auditor. Okay, signing of contract for CC Group for jail automation system. I have that, yeah.
In front of you. That is for the automation over at the jail for all the HVAC products, fans, everything. We signed one last year, it's slipped through the cracks. Supposed to have been brought back up in April. Jill has looked at it and signed it. It gives us labor break and parts break. They also do the service on all the units for sensors and replace and check those every year.
Just for the security too, or?
No.
No, okay.
Just for the automation over there.
6735.
Yep.
Got any questions, Jeff?
No.
I move that we sign the agreement with CNC Group.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Signing of Allied Waste contract for the Health Department.
Put it on, it hasn't been certified yet. We'll put it till next week or something.
Okay.
Okay, Lower Bottom Road contract amendment.
As we previously discussed, we asked the engineer to give us a price to do 2 designs on this road to try and get a better price for the final repair. They came back with a cost estimate of $7,000, and that's on an hourly basis, not to exceed. Gerdell Engineering's been good about keeping the costs under what their maximum set at, so. It would take the original contract was $48,700, with the $7,000 in supplemental agreement number 1, it'd be $55,700.
So I looked,
Jill has reviewed.
I looked that through a little bit, Larry, and so using the GeoGrid, will they be able to use maybe some on-site soils, or?
There'd be there's more on-site soils being used that way than what.
So it's saving materials and trucking and all that. I think it's worth at least looking at. Maybe it'll save us some money, maybe it won't, so.
They're actually working on the base bid now, the design of it, which is shot rock. I don't hold off starting on this phase until you all approve this supplemental agreement.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's worth a shot. I mean, it's probably more labor intensive to use the GeoGrid and on-site soils, but you know, that could be offset by trucking and hauling and buying rock. So I don't know. I mean, it's 50-50. It gives somebody 2 options to bid versus 1.
Both the options has a factor safety 3, which is what we were aiming for. So.
I mean, because
I like having the options out there, so.
I mean, and also too, I guess the other thing to consider on that is if they use all shot rock, then they got to haul all that other material off somewhere, right? So you're hauling it 2 different directions. So
Or
bringing in and hauling out.
Yeah, they may have to haul it. The landowner may give a site for it and use it right there on site. So.
You guys good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
I move that we sign the contract amendment with Gerdell Engineering.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Discussion 2015-33 window replacement.
We received bids a few weeks ago, as you guys know, for window replacement of the courthouse and annex. The apparent low bid was Wilson Group. We had a few questions that we sent to them, got responses back that I think Greg's comfortable with the information they provided. Obviously, if you guys look at the document in front of you, they're quite a bit lower. I emailed yesterday and just basically asked if that was possible. He reviewed the bid and he came back and said that they stand by their bid and they're very confident in it. So we're here today just kind of looking for direction, what you guys want to do as the next step.
So I talked with Jen about that, and I also expressed some concerns with Greg, just to make sure that we were comparing apples to apples, and they were good with. And I think you even did an addendum or something that said Manco was acceptable on the curtain wall system. So basically, they bid and everything per specs. Nothing was out of line. The explanation from him is that they weren't subbing anything out, which was probably what Waveco and GBH were doing, since they don't really install commercial windows. We can have some discussion. I'm for moving forward and replacing all of them. I know it's a big sum, but we have receivership money that we could use, and I know we have a grant submitted. We could start on the annex. The total amount on the grant is $100,000.
You can't use the grant for the annex.
No.
I realize that.
Okay.
The total amount for the grant, if we were to get some of it, would be $100,000, right? That was all that was there.
Actually, this is statewide though. It's probably about $350,000 for statewide.
Okay,
So we asked for $100,000.
right,
Whether we get it or not, it's another issue.
right.
Depends on the competition.
And when would that be awarded, or?
It's not awarded until like the middle of December.
So,
Which will still be fine doing the courthouse. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But it won't be able to be applied to anything we've already spent it on.
Well, there's such a disparity between the Wilson Group and the highest bidder that I'm a little paranoid about windows, but you got to look at the cost, and boy, that's a good savings.
I will say that he was willing to come up this morning. I told him probably hold off on the initial meeting. He's available via phone, and they've also communicated that they're very willing to come up and, address any questions you guys have, any concerns, anything like that. So that might be something to think about if you would want them to come up. And
well, the information that I got out of his email is basically
Yeah.
they were bidding against people that normally they bid against, didn't bid this project, so I don't know why. But obviously, people that do windows for a living, GBH and Waveco are general contractors. They definitely would have had to sub the curtain windows and all that, some of that stuff. So,
I called references yesterday just to try to see if I could get a hold of anyone. I did end up getting a hold of two. One said, they did a good job, didn't have anything negative to say. The other one said that the end product was a good job. How did he word it? At times they were slow to respond, and the project itself took longer than he thought. But he said that doesn't mean they wouldn't use him again. It's just not the best contractor that they've used.
what kind of time frame did we have in our bid documents?
Well, we had that they had to hold them for at least 90 days. Todd is with Manco. He was calling yesterday. I guess the aluminum is pretty volatile, and he's trying to hold prices for that. So I know everyone would appreciate something as soon as possible. I'll have to talk with them to see exactly how long they are able to hold them. I don't have that information.
Maybe one suggestion is have Wilson Group come in with a mock-up of how they're gonna do the courthouse windows and a mock-up how they're gonna do the annex, and just sit down and talk with them directly, face to face, and just say, look, this is what we wanted. Is this what you're gonna give us?
Yeah. It's a good suggestion.
And What kind of start time are we looking at? I mean, is this a spring
We
or?
just wanted to get it, last I remember, the guidance I had gotten from you guys to put this with Jennifer was, let's get it out, let's see what kind of numbers we're looking at. Original estimate was right around $1 million
Mhm.
for both buildings. You know, Wilson is definitely under that.
And something else maybe worth mentioning, the other ones did operable windows as an add-on. Operable windows are included with the Wilson Group. If you guys decided not to go that route, that would save you, would they say, $27 per window changed to fixed.
What did you say there, Jennifer? I wasn't following.
Operable windows,
I think that's for the annex. I think
Oh.
we talked about using non-operable windows versus operable.
I was just gonna point out that,
Say it was $27 per window.
yes, if you didn't go that way.
I don't know. Jennifer called me about it, and I'd like to move forward because the more we delay, the more we have more damage to the courthouse, the more we have more damage to this building. We can punt it down the road, and we just kick the can, and it just costs us more later.
I agree. Of course, then we're gonna have to paint Larry Vincent's office.
Larry's got his own money. He can afford a can of paint.
He's got to do donuts.
How much we got in receivership? Was it quarter or half?
Well, it's 567, I think, or something about that. But we can only use that on the courthouse, right? Technically.
It really doesn't have any restrictions on it. It kind of did when the judge gave it to us.
Mhm.
Use it for court, but.
We used it to buy tornado sirens.
There was no way he could put stipulations on it. Let's just put it that way.
It has to be for the public good.
That's
That's what the statute says. It's a side parade distribution from the courts.
I mean, if we were to move forward, and this is to you, Joe, if we were to move forward on doing both, I mean, would that hurt us as far as the application for the grant, or?
No, but anything that we do on the courthouse, we couldn't apply grant money for. So if we started now and completed whatever on the courthouse, the way we wrote the grant is this money is going to be used, at the time, we thought maybe we'd do phases.
Mhm.
So we put the east and south because that's where the leaking windows are.
Okay.
The worst. And so that was the basis for it. And I shot pictures of all of that and submitted it along with the application. So, I mean, if we want to do the annex now in the courthouse after the first of the year, if we know we have more money
They'd have to be separate contracts.
with the company. Well, not necessarily. If you're still intending to do it, you could do it all in one, but then you could put different timelines, I suppose.
Mhm.
Jennifer, how does that?
So we could do the annex and the other two sides that you didn't specify, if we wanted to. And just say we're waiting on possible grant funding for the other.
Well, but we're almost into the 1st of October.
was
And
gonna
if you're
say,
saying that grant's in
mid-December.
December,
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be doing anything on the courthouse that quickly.
I think they're, in Wilson, if I remember right, I think they had 60 days after contract they would start. So even in 60 days, that's already December 1st. It's already October, almost.
That we could do both.
Yeah, I mean, that's, if I remember right.
A lot of money.
Where's the rest of it gonna come from?
come out of sales tax at this point, or you?
Do we have that in there under that, did we have that in the
For this year?
budget?
We had just a blanket capital amount. This totals about what we received total for a year in sales tax, so of our 15%. So if you took the 5 out of there, you'd only need 3.5 out of the sales tax.
But it wouldn't all come out of this year's budget. I mean,
No.
that's the way I see it. I mean, even if we gave them a go-ahead today, they wouldn't start for 60 days, probably.
You'd still have to encumber it. So when you sign that contract, you have to encumber the funds.
You always make things difficult.
I told you that was my job.
Yeah, well, quit being difficult.
Or we write two separate contracts, one for this and one for the other.
Would that work?
You still have to encumber both contracts if you sign it now.
Even if it was dated J1?
You couldn't sign the contract.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't.
I think we could make it work within GR. We may have to do some transfers too, and if we transfer back, if that's what you don't, but it would have to come out of contingency, obviously.
I mean, I think the funds are there in GR to encumber it, if you want to encumber it, and then work out later if you want sales tax to be a portion of that.
Or you can meet with that vendor and decide most of the rest of it first.
By fixed windows, do you mean windows that don't open at all?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I pay out of pocket to have one open?
Sure, sure.
I think
I take it that's not a savings that we want.
$27. I'll pay
We'll
it.
leave them operable windows.
Debbie opens hers all the time.
Where you at, Jeff?
I'm right here. Well,
I mean, I'm not saying we gotta do something today, but, I mean, I just trying to give Jennifer some,
I'm just trying to do the math in my head here. We've gone over this and we've had things on top of the list that we need to do for capital improvements.
mhm.
And my filing system sucks after budget's done. It's all in one pile. So what did we have? Is that kind of what we were looking at for the windows from the get-go?
I believe so, as far as,
Because I thought we was looking at about $1.5 million for windows at one time. Was that not what we were looking at?
I
on
think it was
budget?
750,000 for the courthouse was
Right.
original.
Yeah.
99 windows
Okay.
in the courthouse, I know.
Yeah.
Basically, we're way under what we were kind of looking at. So 15% of the sales tax is 750,000, right?
Right,
If we got-
about 800,000.
But you said if we did the 300,000,
No, she said that this 861 was about what we get in sales
Okay.
tax for the year.
because I was looking at the 300,000 difference between the receivership.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'd be 300,000 out of our funds, and if we depleted the receivership, roughly. Well, we can
Kick it
wait.
around, put it on the agenda.
Agenda
again
next week, yeah.
Because I'd like to see where it's all going to come from first.
Would you
That's
like
fine.
that vendor to come?
Yeah, I think we ought to go ahead and try to see if Wilson would come, because I think,
mock-up of what he's gonna do.
yeah, I think, we need to keep kind of moving ahead.
Okay.
As you
Just
said,
of the
cost
the
of.
Manco windows, or
I'd like to see both.
like to see the
Make sure
Quaker
he's-
too?
I
Okay.
mean, I'm familiar with the Quaker product, but I wanna make sure he's doing the detail around it for extra protection on water leak.
Okay,
I'd just like to see how he's putting it all together.
Good
okay.
enough.
So, that work?
Yep.
Yeah.
I give you some direction?
Okay, any unfinished
Jennifer.
business? New business, accounts payable.
There were 3 invoices I asked for approval.
Lynn needs it
payment
first, I
of.
guess. So, I don't know. Lynn, do you need these contracts first?
Yeah.
Before I hand them out?
It's gonna make a round.
Because he has to stay to sign them off and seal.
So you need to sign first? And then back to Lynn so she can get her copy? Or do you have it in triplicates?
No.
Okay. I just gotta make sure Lynn gets her copy. I don't wanna get in trouble.
So I don't have a problem with the 3 accounts receivables. I'm just wondering why the circuit court is submitting invoices. I thought we had kind of put this on here for,
It was every other week for utilities. Of course, they have
circuit courts on their own system, on their own time.
I guess it was given to Donnell. Donnell was on vacation. Should have never went to Donnell anyway. Riley should have paid it. So Now it's the judges going to their conference and they need it this week, so that's why I didn't get on there this week.
So it was July.
So, and I think that was Soderman's, and he turned it in on time to JR, it's gone, so. But then Judge Joyce said she would like to vote.
We were keep Judge Joyce happy.
Well, yeah, I agree with you there. But I'm tired of someone not doing the paperwork to make it happen
I
on
know,
time, and
I
so,
know.
How do you make them do it if you always make exceptions, when they can't get their job done on time, so.
We go TP his house.
Send the sheriff. Oh. Any questions or comments, Jeff? No.
No, I just wish they would do it the same as everybody else.
Yeah. I move we approve the 3 accounts payable.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That did not include TPing the house, though.
Oh.
That's right. No, I didn't, that wasn't in the motion.
That's you're on your own there, Sam. That's,
Okay,
that's why you better stay in
okay.
good graces with the judge. I think they frown upon that.
It's water soluble, it just goes away. County clerk,
You know that from experience, huh?
he's the county clerk to discuss voting equipment. God, we've moved this so many times.
I know, it's because Marlon.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, as you know, we've had an opportunity to get some grant money at the clerk's conference. It was announced. It was kind of a new updated version of what we kind of changed around. After talking to Dale, he thought we should kind of go up to the new iPad Air 2, so that price kind of increased a little bit. Kind of get the newer version that's got an anti-glare screen and stuff on it. You don't want to? So we were at the clerk's conference, and like I said, the Secretary of State Cantor took some money out of his budget, state budget, $2 million, and divided it up amongst the counties so they could purchase new equipment. Our share was $24,457. So if we want to take advantage of that grant money, it does expire in May. Go back through his budget, I guess, is over in June, so it won't exist after then. So if we want to take advantage of it, we have to do it soon. I kind of put together a proposal where you can see how much money the county would actually be spending. It's way different than when we started out earlier this year. $57,862.32 would be the actual cost of the county to get new equipment, voting machines. They do have used equipment available. We didn't really pursue it to begin with because we thought they'd be all gone right away. Well, I called them Thursday last week and they said there were still 40 units at the warehouse that could be used. It's $900 difference between new and used, so that's.
So are those completely reconditioned?
Apparently they use them in Canada, like Canada doesn't have any voting equipment, and I think they have elections every 4 years, so they just lease the equipment. Goes back to the company, and then they sell them as new units, still got full warranty and everything on them. There's 2 counties that bought them in Missouri. We called Callaway County's the only one we got a hold of, and they said that they looked new and didn't have any problems with it. They had a lock on one of the cabinets that didn't work, and they said they just warrantied it, so. It's just an opportunity for us to update. It's pretty good price-wise, so if we decide we want to do it, now's the time to do it. I know that Kristen said she's already spent our voting money, so.
I did not say that.
You did it?
No.
Anyway, it's what we were gonna use originally, I guess, is no longer available. So when I talked to Elkins, they said if we decide to do it, if we sign the contract now, they would order the equipment, we could pay for it in January, still get our discount and everything. So I don't know if that's possible or not if we decide to go forward with it. The iPads, there's no special deal on those. We can buy them direct and save some money there on the state government contract. And that's the iPad Air 2 is what I increased the price. They're about $100 difference, but they have a
much better screen resolution, and they have an anti-glare for like the lights, but the people are using them in the pole places, they won't have the glare. And then again, there was grant money offered for that. This is federal HAVA grant money, $12,228 was added to that. So we still had some grant money left over, so that's kind of the basic of the same thing. If we decide not to get the iPads, then come January, we'll have to pay $11,000 some to EA for our yearly license. Which $5,500 of that is on the commission side, and we pay $6,100, I think, on our side, on the election services fund. So really, that was probably gonna save you about $500 if we decide to go there. And then our annual fees, again, will be lower. They charge $100 per unit, so instead of paying, you all paying $5,500 and us paying $6,000, it'll be $4,300 a year after year one. So 2017, we'll be saving $6,000 a year if we get new iPads. We did get an email from, just ironically, we did get an email from EA, or people that we have our poll pads now from, saying that the new Windows software, they didn't know if their system would be compatible with it, not to update. So I'm not sure, they're gonna try to figure something out there, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen there. And if we go with the new machines, of course, it's all one unit now. We have two units. We have an optical scan machine, and we have a DRE, which is the handicap machine. So if we go with new, we would have 30 units instead of 70 units sitting in this room over there. So I don't think there's any difference in size.
So I assume that we need both the optical scan and the iPads, or is
We
it
don't
either
have to
or?
have both, or they're separate units.
Okay.
You know,
So this
the iPad
isn't,
is the one you check in on, and then the optical scan machine is, of course, when you put your ballot in. So there's different grants. You can't cross the grants.
but you need both.
We don't have to have both. We would like to have both. I
Right.
mean, they're both old, they're both
Right.
outdated. I mean, yeah.
So the
We'd like to
I,
just update it one time, be done.
Right.
You know, get it all new, then we're gonna have to worry about it for several years down the road. Well, It seemed like last time I voted that we had trouble with the iPads out east. What we use now is a tablet, and it has a scanner, and it has a signature pad, and it's got several pieces to it. It's got a mouse. We had a lot of trouble with the mouses last year. Well, this is just an iPad. You use your finger. There's no mouse. There's no scanner. It's on the back. They use the camera. I think it'd be a lot easier for the poll workers to use. I think it'd be a lot faster. It's new, it's updated. Yeah, that seemed to be the kind of the holdup, and the Right. backed people up a little bit was. It can be, I mean, was, yeah, we had lots of them that didn't work right in April. I had to go out, and the mouses wouldn't work right. Well, this is just a lot less pieces.
I'd like to back up a little bit and have Jennifer explain, because we did bid these out before and kind of rejected the bids, if I remember, so.
Yeah, he's talking about used equipment. We did bid out the new ones. If for whatever reason you guys would want to go that route, we couldn't, we'd have to rebid it. Whenever we did bid them out, I brought that with me. We got 3 bids, and they were pretty comparable in there. The only thing we weren't really sure about was the cost for the ballots, layouts, and coding. I don't know if you guys have gotten any figures for those, but that was kind of the gray area that we weren't really sure about
So we
as far as
couldn't-
long-term costs.
Couldn't sole source it being only
I think we
used?
could do, if we did the used.
We could
Jill,
do
do you
some-
agree we could sole source that used equipment? It's not something that anyone else is gonna offer.
How do you know?
Well, besides asking them, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's why
They
you
were the only one
advertise
that
it,
offered it
right?
originally on the bid.
Well, I don't know, I mean, unless you have a very solid basis for this being sole source, I think you need to bid it regular.
And just bid it for new or used.
Or you could just do used, reconditioned, whatever, a very narrow description of what you're looking for.
How long do we wait on something like that? Probably the more likelihood they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, how
that's,
quickly can we do They that? could be gone, and the second thing
Yeah.
is, if we don't do something pretty quick, well, then we'll have to, you know, if we have to pay our dues for next year, then we're not gonna save any Yeah, we still gotta do things by the book, so if we
Right, well,
have
I mean,
to
it's-
rebid it.
It's 3
then-
weeks to advertise, and then the bid opening can't be less than 10 days after the last run in the paper. So, I mean, you're looking at over a month. And that's if I get it done, like tomorrow.
Do we need to rebid it?
I mean, sole source is typically for when something there's nothing else that's compatible with our needs. Like, software upgrades or a lot of the CenturyLink stuff because we have certain kinds of equipment. I mean, it's not a vehicle for convenience.
Now, No Ink did send us a sole source on the iPads, but that's under the state contract.
That's a
We
different
have to
issue.
bid that,
No, you'd
so
be
you wouldn't
fine.
have to-
Yeah, you would have.
iPads.
Okay, we're good on that, okay. Well, and we couldn't go back on the bids we already had, I guess, because
No.
we rejected those, so.
But we're gonna approve the iPads then today?
And those basically cost us $5,081.
Yeah, that'd be your share, which, you know, your share in January would be 5,500, so, for EA, so.
Yeah. After my experience the last time voting, I'm in favor of making it easier for your poll workers, because,
That's what we want to do, is
Um,
their iPads, a lot of them use iPads, it's pretty common.
yeah. Yeah.
That's our goal. The scanners is, you know, the optical scan machines, it's just advantage to take care of the grant, take advantage of the grant and the money that's out there, so.
And
So-
the difference in price between new and used is what?
$900
$900, so it'd be 27,000.
So the state of Missouri grant, when is that? How long is that good?
We got until May.
Okay,
2016,
okay.
It's in his personal budget, and you know, the state budget. They did tell us that they could, on the machines, that they have a separate place for the ballots to go into, a separate box, so they could advertise it that way. Would that help any or not? As being a sole source?
No, because, I mean,
Okay.
you don't know. There may be other vendors for this kind of equipment. You're assuming there probably isn't, but you don't know. And as I said, sole source, it needs to be used when it's truly a sole source, not because we need to get it fast. So you
Yeah.
could bid it out new and used, Jennifer, since you already rejected the other ones. So that way too, if the used equipment is gone, we could still get the new. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're just gonna have to get your descriptions down.
You know, basically, there's 3 vendors for Missouri, and that's all there is. So that's the 3 bids we got last time. Because you can't just, you have
It
to be
has to be
certified
on
with
the,
Secretary of State.
exactly.
So you can't, there's nobody that's bid on it, so. But currently, there's only 3 vendors.
So if we confirm with the other 2 that they don't have secondhand available, would that then be a sole source?
So you could look at it that way.
So,
Could call the other 2 vendors and just ask them if they had used it.
Right.
That would-
I mean, if these are truly the only 3 who legally can bid in Missouri,
That's right.
then there you go.
Yeah, you have to be approved by the Secretary of State.
I know that can change, they can add at any time, it wasn't just once a year, have we checked with them lately? We'll look into
We'll
that,
have
but that's possibly an option.
It's basically, you just need your all's approval to go ahead or whatever.
So assuming that there are 3, and assuming that the other 2 do not have used equipment, you would be okay with that being a sole source? And
You have to
then,
very narrowly describe what it is
Right.
that you want, just don't say, you know.
right.
What's the lifespan on both of those, Steve, you know?
I know the running equipment we have now is 10 years old, and I think they're 11 years old, so I would assume that it would go another 10 or 11 years. The iPads, you know, I don't know. They don't have like a service contract on them. They have a licensing fee, but like if one gets dropped, they just have to buy another $500.
I mean, how long will they last 10 years?
iPads, no, I doubt it.
So,
They would be-
Self-contained batteries, so you can't really, I don't think you can change, once the battery's gone, it's like 3 years and it's time to.
so 3 years, we could
I would say
estimate.
that's probably a reason.
Well, in 3 years, there's gonna be something better.
Probably be 6 things by then.
We've been using the same ones for 2
I know,
years now,
I know,
so
but I
I wouldn't
mean-
count on
Not
it.
on the poll books. The optical scans are 10 years old, the poll books are not.
No, the poll books are maybe 4 or 5 years. I
Yeah,
don't really
maybe
know.
4.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're 4 or 5, I'd have to go look at one to see when the property tag was put on them.
But how long will the iPads and stuff, we're gonna have to replace those in 3 years then? They're gonna be a recurring cost?
I would say you probably start looking at them if you haven't had issues already. It's like anything else, you take care of it, the batteries, you know, they hold on. That's, to me, I think that's the thing with Apple, is that you don't pop them out and put a new battery in. I guess maybe some place will tear them apart and do that, but it's not something we can just go take them apart and do it, so.
So the pads we have now, we've had for 3 years, that's what you were saying?
The poll books, we've probably had 4 to 5 years,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
the iPads are going to replace the poll books, which are currently laptops or tablets.
Okay, so they're different from the iPad.
Right.
You already said you're having trouble with those though too, right? I mean.
They're gonna have trouble with everything,
The
so
mouses and
you can
stuff.
hang them with a gold rope, they'll have trouble.
Well, the thing to remember is they don't use them all the time. So
Right.
that has a different effect on computer equipment than something you use every day if you're only using it 3 to 4 times a year.
The optical scan's gonna have a longer life
Yes.
than the iPad, so we'll have to look at probably replacing the iPads again in 3 years.
Possibly, I guess.
Maybe right
I mean,
before
we
the
do
other
plug them
general.
in, we will keep them plugged in, but whether that would help or not, I don't know.
I don't know if that'd hurt or help, you know, it's something.
We're gonna use them 4 times.
Normally, if you keep a laptop plugged in, if the battery goes, because it overcharges and it just kills it, so. You know, I don't know what the recommendation is on an iPad.
I don't know.
Don't mind at home, battery doesn't last too long on it if I use it a lot, so it's.
I think he said it should last like 6 to 8 hours, is what the saying said.
Right.
And then you'd have to plug it in.
Or you can buy them.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I've had my.
I was kinda hoping they wouldn't go out at one time. If we had to replace a few, we could do it as time went by, but if they would all 43 go out in 3 years, then yeah, we'd have to buy
Battery life.
43 new.
Battery might be better every generation, new generation of iPad.
That's why it's
We leave the netbooks we have now, we leave plugged in all day. So couldn't we do that with, same thing with the iPad?
Oh, yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying that anything's gonna happen, but I'd just say that's, I think those particular, you know, nothing, iPhones or anything, you don't replace anything in it.
Right.
That's the thing, they say, well, you got 3-year life, and then you replace the device, you know, that's what they're, I think that's the way they market them, or it used to be, and I didn't talk to an Apple person when I bought an iPad.
Right.
If we leave them plugged in all day into the power source,
You'll be able to use them, yeah.
We shouldn't have to.
They'll still function, it's just that you're using them as truly as a mobile device.
Oh, no, we,
Yeah.
no, they sit at the table, they'll be on a stand there at the table the whole time, so.
yeah, they don't move around. We could keep them.
And the one thing with an iPad is they have very short power cables, so you're gonna have to either do extension cords or something, because they're literally, what, 4 feet?
Yeah.
3 feet,
They
3 or
make
4
longer
feet.
ones.
Do they? But not, that doesn't come with them, though, I don't think, I have to buy them.
So do you guys want Jennifer to go ahead and contact those vendors and then report back to you guys maybe next week and?
Yeah, I think that'd be probably the best thing. Do we want to make a motion and approve the iPads today?
What's the total cost on the optical scans? I got this, it says 57,000.
Well, that's if I'm including the next year's service fees, the 2016 budgeted service fees. So if you, so if we don't, of course, we won't have to budget that next year, so it is a savings, but it's 57,862.32 with those 2 budgeted items. because our annual license and maintenance fees will be included with the equipment that we get for the first year. So our old equipment service contract and license fees is $14,250. So we wouldn't have to pay that if we had new equipment. And then we had to get new batteries in both machines. So we had budgeted around $8,000 for repairs. Which we wouldn't have to do that either if we had new equipment, so.
So where's that 57,000 coming from then? Is that
That's after those two are removed.
from the commission,
Yeah.
general revenue?
Oh, yeah, from you all.
But then we wouldn't have the EA charge every year?
Yeah.
You're gonna have it, you won't have it for the first year, right?
Right. Yeah, which it's being paid above software license fee. It's in it, and then the first year you wouldn't have it.
Okay,
And then
I'm
the next
sorry.
year you would. It'd be $2,150 each instead of what we pay now, which is $11,000 something.
So we're saving money on the
A lot,
EA
yeah.
contract, so 5,500.
Yeah, because theirs is
a year.
about $200 a
Okay,
machine.
that's the part I heard a while ago. I didn't hear how you got to that.
Yeah, instead of paying $5,500 a year annually, you all will start paying $2,150, and then we'll pay $2,150.
That's at the bottom, Joe, on the iPad.
You are getting to what you got.
Okay.
Yeah, could be.
And before it was 11,000?
Right, it's the two 5,081.40s together. We paid half,
Mm-hmm.
they paid half.
Okay.
It would now be the 4,300.
God, we're just saving money all over the place, Chris. Yeah. There you go, put it toward the windows.
Save
I
it.
learned a new one.
Yeah.
Still
Spending-
costing us
spending money.
$57,000.
afford to paint my office.
We're still 57,000, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we're not technically
but
saving
it's-
money.
That was a joke. I'd say in the long run, we're probably going to save money, because at some time or another, they're just gonna quit, or you're gonna be forced to buy new equipment, and then the grants and stuff may not be there at that time, so. And the used equipment will be gone, so if we wanna proceed with that to try to save the money, then.
The last time we purchased them 10 years ago, we did pay that at sales tax for the capital and purchasing, and it was closer to 200,000 mark back then, so.
that's
We just
kinda-
have to decide before May. So if we want to go ahead and proceed, we can bid it and then have it bid and award it for 2016, right?
We kinda need to decide before then, because we'll
You
have
got
to.
election.
You'll have,
Yeah.
you got a bunch
of
March
elections.
and April election, Yeah. that we'd like to use the new equipment for if we could. Otherwise, we'll have to pay the maintenance fees on the old stuff.
I think we'll get an answer fairly quick on that, whether we have to bid it or not, depending on the other vendors.
I'm just confident they don't have used equipment. They didn't offer it at all.
So we want to wait till they get back with us?
I don't know if we get the answer and they don't have it, then we can go ahead and proceed.
Yeah.
I guess as far as I'm concerned, if we got the money in the budget for it, but we're talking about spending money from capital improvements for windows, 57,000 here, which is a drop in a bucket compared to the windows, but.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know.
So, we'll make sure we got the money in there. Is it in there?
Sales tax or in general?
But nobody else can have anything the rest of the year, guys.
I'd
say the course mark buying donuts.
Well, and you're right. I mean, is it in the budget? Maybe not in this year's budget, but as we go forward next year, we're knocking things off of our list.
Yeah, I couldn't find my list.
Of things that we have to do, and so,
I know we talked about voting machines, but I don't think we set aside money for it.
Right.
Well, we need to do something now if we're gonna do it, so you'll have it for next year's election. I agree with that.
Hadn't we talked to at one time about doing some this year and then some on next year's?
I think we need to do it all at once, though.
Yeah, and I
you
think
bite
this
the bullet.
is less than what we were originally talking
started on
about.
180,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is much less than what we.
Got a lot more invested in it than what we had before, so I'm fine with if it can be a sole source and move on with it. We don't have to have no meeting as far as I'm concerned, but just let us know, I guess.
It has
Or
to
do
be
we-
entered into we have to come back with it.
All right.
We'll get
Entered
a
into the
contract
minutes
with
and.
the sole source.
Put it on next week then again, and we'll keep it moving. If that's
We have to
okay.
advertise if it's sole source,
For 10
right?
days, yeah.
Basically publishing notice of it, which is the one-time
I mean, if we want to do the iPads today, we could do that if you wanted, but if you want to wait, we can do it all together.
It's up to you if you would approve those. We have to order those, get them in, and we have to ship them to No Ink so they can be programmed, and then they have to ship them back to us. So I don't know how long the process that would be.
That basically costs us $5,081.
Yeah.
Which would be next year's, right? I mean, you wouldn't pay.
Well, if we sign a
10%
contract
value.
today, we encumber it
Still have to pay
today.
it out this year.
Is that okay? Kristen, do it that way?
I think it's fine.
I think 5,000 we can come up with probably somewhere.
Yeah. I think let's go ahead and do the iPads. and-
861 might be a different story.
And I make a motion, we purchase the new iPads.
Okay, is that sole source and who's it, who we purchasing them from?
That's state
State
contract.
contract.
Take
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So is that sufficient,
Yeah,
his motion?
because we can piggyback off their contracts.
Okay, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you all very much.
Donuts.
Donuts?
Okay, new website design discussion.
All right, well, I wanted to kind of talk about, where we are with the website, and we, one of the things that I sent an email out about was, I sent an email out about the logo, which we have come up with a logo, and you guys can look at these, and then one of them is black and white, and the other one has like a little bit of color, but, I think the black and white one is probably, gonna be, the simpler the logo is, the more options that we'll have as far as colors and design whenever they start putting our website design together. And then the other thing, is the tagline. That's the other thing that I need to kind of
Okay,
decide.
with either really.
We
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to
creative.
have a tagline, but I think it would be a good thing to have on our website, just to kind of give a feel for, our county and, what we're about. So, the document I passed out, and I'd emailed it before, is a few that we kind of came up with on our own. It wasn't, real easy to kind of come up with different ones, but, serving since 1821 is one, working together for a better tomorrow, here to serve since 1821, established in 1821, county government at work, county government at your service, then just at your service, the state capital county, and heritage in the heart of Missouri. And we're open to any other suggestions, but, it's something that will be on the homepage, so kind of would like to come up with one that I can, turn into the, to Civic Plus for our design. I also passed out a timeline, proposed timeline, and this is something that, I need to confirm with, our project manager by the end of the week, that this timeline will work for us. She's willing to work with us if we want to move our timeline at all, but, if, you'll look at that, the go-live date that they have set up is going to be Thursday, February 25th. And the training is something that the departments need to kind of have on their radar. The proposed training for the website design, website will be January 11th through January 15th. So the different offices probably would want to kind of have that on their radar. One of the other things that I would like to request, if anybody has any really good photos of the county, we're gonna need a really nice photo for the homepage. It needs to be kind of a higher resolution, unphotoshopped, no manipulation. Just something representative of the county, and kind of what I was envisioning is more to have something more of the rural part of Cole County, kind of a rural picture of the county. And then we can always incorporate things with the state capitol also into the website as well, but, and that's just my personal.
Yeah, we've been talking about, you know, so much of everything in Cole County, it revolves around Jeff City, which understandably, but, you know, the vast part of the county is agricultural, rural, you know,
And we can kind of.
that's more of what the county is, you know, and
Yeah.
not just a building somewhere, so.
And we can kind of put a little bit, the elements of all of the different aspects. I mean, we can also incorporate some of the, like the Capitol and the courthouse and things like that into other parts of it, but I just think it would be nice. And we can have more than one photo. I think a lot of the websites have like a thing that kind of cycles through different pictures, so. I mean, I think it would be a nice way to kind of showcase Cole County and kind of show that we're a little bit of the countryside and a little bit of the city part. So that's just.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we don't want the snows of Kilimanjaro or something.
So yeah, so if anybody has any really good pictures or knows anybody who's taking some really good, you know, pictures, they're really, you know, saying that landscapes, cityscapes, they say you could do people and activities on it. The only downside to that is getting the permission from people, which, you know, if it's a big crowd, you really can't make out the individual people. It would probably be okay, but it'd be kind of a pain to kind of get the permissions from people to use their picture.
Are you talking about the picture on the main website?
Yeah.
Homepage, yeah.
Yeah, the homepage.
We rotate it. You can just put pictures of.
Oh, yeah, I think we should have a lot, and we
Yeah.
can, at whatever intervals.
Y'all already brought that up, I was out there.
Yeah, I said, why didn't you say that?
Oh, no.
I'll go back in there.
And we probably need to stay away from like seasonal type things.
Unless it's season, I mean, if it's.
Well, they say for the homepage to stay with that picture, to stay away from the seasonal type stuff. So that's just on their recommendations. So I will be sending out an email to the different county offices and asking them to be kind of thinking about who's going to be doing their website edits for their office, who will be needing to go to the training. I will be sending out a timeline. I'd also like to ask the different offices to go through their webpage and look for any out-of-date information that needs to be removed from the website prior to Civic Plus starting their part, because we don't want them to be wasting time moving over information that is not applicable now. So, and
Melissa, is there anything we can take as far as photographs and the flyover?
the aerial photography, I don't think that, I don't think that that would be probably suitable for, for the homepage.
Sorry, I was out.
But really, right now, what I really need to get is kind of an idea about what, if we want to use a tagline, first of all, and if we do, which tagline do we want to use? Do we want to use one of these, or if we want to?
Yeah, I think there was a discussion on the actual date that
Yeah.
the county existed.
And I put on here, I went on the Cole County Historical Society homepage, and they and our Cole County website mentioned that Cole County was organized in 1820, but then it didn't become a county, official county, until 1821, according to the Historical Society. So.
And Mark Ellender gave me some coins, kind of challenge coins, and they have us down as being 1820. And in fact, the 150th anniversary we had in 1970. I think Mark's father was the chairman of that committee. So Mark said he would like to be the chairman when, at 200 in 2020. So, yeah, it's
So I think, yeah, it's between when it was
Yeah.
organized and when it was,
So
I
maybe
guess,
we ought to steer
official.
away from that.
Yeah.
yeah. That's what
kind of
that's what
I
I'm
was thinking.
thinking
Yeah.
is maybe.
It could be he got a real good deal on those coins.
Well, I mean, just the 150th they did in 1970, so they were using 1820 as our birth date.
And if 1820s, whenever it was organized, and they started serving the citizens then, so technically they've been serving since 1820.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
it's-
kind of like Heritage in the heart of Missouri, and that was Dale's brainstorm. But that's, to me, more a little bit. I shouldn't have said that, Dale, sorry. But,
I personally like the second one, working together for a better tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Taglines, typically don't last for very long before you have to update them or whatnot. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion. And then my only other comment is I just think your timeline's too tight. I mean, if you're wanting photos and deliverables by Friday, there ain't no way.
yeah, well, yeah, and that's what, when we were getting the logos together, that was the one that I was looking at, that I was thinking I'm probably gonna need to tell her I need at least a few more weeks to get the photos and stuff together, so.
We could get something out in the paper or something. Maybe Jeff might be able to help us on submitting photos and stuff. I mean, I think we could get some really good photos, from the
I was gonna say, they probably-
Russellville Engine Festival, Frog Leg, and Engine Festival and stuff. So
Do you want some
then
historic
some-
photos too, or we just want new?
It depends on how we want to portray, Cole County. I mean, we do have a whole lot of history here, being the state capital. So historic photos might be nice to have on there, but I'm personally, I kind of lean toward making our county look more modern and a little bit more progressive, I guess, as far as, we're doing a lot countywide to kind of get, become more accessible as far as like the streaming commission meetings and, the computerized, the GIS websites and stuff like that, kind of bringing more functionality to the citizens. So I kind of, I like to keep a little bit of the more history, I guess, but lean toward more modern, progressive. So, I think if we could just see what pictures we have, we can we won't be able to use them all. We'll just have to look and see kind of what we come up with, and hopefully we'll get some really good ones and be able to narrow
I think the
down.
thing is with all this is kind of like leading to step one. We're kind of before we start, period here, so if we keep things going too long, we're not even gonna get started here.
Yeah.
So
And that's the other thing, I just want to, we need to keep it moving and kind of not take too much time to do this part, but it is important because this is our first impression that people are going to have of our county when they're looking for information from our county website. New businesses coming in, new citizens looking for information about moving Cole County. First impression is very important, so.
You might be able to go on the CBD's website, steal some of the photos they have. CBD.
Is that just Jeff City or Cole County?
Jeff, want a picture of the clock tower.
I'll go for that one.
Well, yeah.
We're not stealing. We're going to be partnering
Well,
with
we
them.
need to make
Partnering
sure
with
that
them.
The pictures that we use are pictures that we can get permission and, sign a waiver saying that it's okay for us to use this.
Yeah,
in
no
our
money
website.
involved.
Yeah.
Well, the rivers are an important part of Cole County. Railroads were. That's Russellville. When I went to their city council, their pictures, their whole downtown was built facing the railroad tracks because that was where people came in and out of Russellville. So, the railroads still are a part of Cole County.
Yeah. And that's something Dale and I were actually
Yeah.
talking about, where you could actually go to take some good pictures, and the rivers were definitely one of the ones that we were thinking, that would be good to have in there, but, so.
But anyway, the tagline, if we get an agreement on that,
Yeah.
that's one chunk off, or we don't have to, I mean, it's not even mandatory we have one, but it's probably a good idea to do one.
I like the working together for a better tomorrow, and I like the heritage in the heart of Missouri. So I think either one of those. Maybe since we're not too sure whether we're 1820 or 1821, we ought to keep that up.
You're going for either one of those. I think if you're going Bryan-Cole County is the capital, home of the capital. So I think that's what it's all about nowadays is branding. My second choice would maybe be heritage in the heart of Missouri. I kind of like that one.
Well, I don't know.
No, the tagline's gonna be.
I mean, it's probably.
But I'd go with
every couple of years
1820.
it might change, but not very, you know,
Well, that's what-
not very often.
The
That's
tagline's something we need to.
I think of
be
every
looking at
business,
something.
how often they change, you know, Worthy Capital Region, and, you know, it took them a long time to come up with their logo, and then they got another one now. But it's not a.
That's the
huge-
problem. They're not branding themselves.
Well,
They need to
they-
work on
they-
branding themselves. They should
The
hire me as a
tagline
consultant.
Is something I'd like to see us.
I'd do it for about $100 grand a year.
Decide and not be thinking that we're gonna be
Yeah.
changing
Yeah.
anytime soon,
Yeah.
personally.
But, I mean, whatever you guys are comfortable with, I mean, I don't, you know, I just like we get, at least most people like it, as opposed to, oh, everybody just don't like that.
Sounds like they're, kind of stalemate though.
I like all of them. I would just leave the year out just because. So
Just put serving cents.
serving a long time.
Well, Debbie liked to have your service.
Almost 200 years.
We think 1820. We don't know.
Serving.
Yeah, apply for a county historian.
No.
So it sounds like we have to decide.
Commission decide, or do we want to
Well,
let all of our elected?
if we let everybody else have a
Okay, then we're
vote,
gonna end up-
we're never gonna get decided. So what did you like?
He liked the
I think
state
it
capital
needs to stick
county.
with the, and branding it with the state capital somehow, or nothing, or 1820.
So you like serving since 1820?
I don't know.
It was
Well, what do you know?
November-
Doesn't really say
February
anything.
2020, so.
We'd say 1820-ish.
Which one did you like?
Well, I like the working together for a better tomorrow, but I mean, that doesn't have to be it. I mean, I don't like the state capital county. I think that sounds goofy.
I think your tagline's gonna kind of push where your pictures go too. I mean, if you do working for a better tomorrow, maybe we need to do pictures of like our employees and our vehicles and stuff in the pictures. If you're gonna do the heritage, maybe you do more historical photos and landscapes and things like that. I mean, I think your tagline's gonna kind of push the direction of some of the pictures.
Good job, Kristen. That's outstanding.
I mean,
I try, everyone's I'm trying not to be difficult.
I'm not there to look at the pictures on the website. I'm trying to figure out where to take my hazardous materials to be recycled or whatever, so I could care less about the pictures. Now, if somebody else wants to go look
But
at
when
the
you're talking
pictures.
about branding, you should tie the both together. I
But
mean,
what are we? We're government.
We're dysfunctional right now. We can't pick a damn tagline.
The same.
But if you're somebody that's moving to Cole, thinking about moving to Cole County, or a business that's thinking about moving to Cole County, that might, you know,
Which
looking
two did you
at
pick?
our beautiful
Working
countryside might be
together for
something.
better tomorrow?
Yeah, I like that, and I like the heritage in the heart of Missouri. So
You like either one of those two?
yeah. I mean, so
It's like when your wife says, "Where you want to go eat?" and you say,
I
"McDonald's." We're gonna be wrong no matter what. Sorry to throw the wife.
yeah, they
under
go.
the
I don't.
bus
Care.
in
They
that
go. I
one.
don't care. So
I don't
then when
care.
you go there, I go, oh, well, here come we're in here, huh?
Yeah, they need a restaurant called I Don't Care. Where you wanna go eat? I don't care. Okay, it's right down the road. Did you like either one of those two then?
I mean, Heritage in the Heart of Missouri is fine, or, I mean, my personal favorite was Working Together for a Better Tomorrow.
I'm
so.
sorry.
That one's fine with me. I think it's generic enough. Since 1821. 20.
In the capital city.
In the capital city, exactly.
I mean, it's just, I think our people are the most valuable asset that we have, so.
I'm good with the working together for a better tomorrow. I don't want to pound this into the dirt all day long, because it's not gonna affect, and it can always be changed.
Yeah, it can always be changed.
Get a new commissioner in there, they can say, I don't like that, let's redo it.
Okay.
So are we good with that?
Yeah, let's, I think we all like working together for a better tomorrow, so.
This week, next week that may change.
So does anybody have any questions about the website or?
Don't put our Duck Dynasty photo in. Don't do that.
I will be sending out an email to everybody, kind of with the, when I get an updated timeline, and also, everybody kind of what they need to be doing as far as their own websites they have now, so.
Maybe get with Jeff and let, so that we can let the public know how to submit photos, Okay. And then what format they need to be and how, yeah, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's keep moving ahead. Discussion of abatement and budget transfer.
I guess that's me asking.
That's you. No, we've already spent too much today. I'm sorry.
This one is, actually, I do have enough money in the budget I received 3 bids for the abatement that you approved last week. Richard Bain, Capital City Lawn Care, Cease Ground Maintenance, and Patrick Gruce, which is a general contractor, all submitted bids. Gruce was $1,815. Cease was $1,175. And Capital City Lawn Care, which is the one I'm recommending, he has done work for the county, was $790. All 3 of them have worked for the county in the past and done property abatements, and they've all done excellent work for the county before. So my recommendation is to spend the $790 on this abatement, which puts me, I believe, at $43 left in the abatement account for the rest of the year. So I just wanted to make the commission aware of that. We're basically, if I have one next week, I'm out of money.
And that's a hard line item to budget for. It fluctuates so much from year to year. So we just kind of put a placeholder in there every year, so.
And they'll make me come back.
Yeah,
So do you need approval for that, or?
I think Jennifer and I talked about it, is just to get the 3 verbal bids, and then I'll get with her to put the bids into the contract.
Contract with them, or?
You should have a contract.
Yeah, we talked about it. We're gonna put one together.
And then do we need to sign it, or do you guys execute it, or how's that work?
This is
I
the
don't know.
first that I've seen the numbers. I'll put
I
something
just got
together. They'll
2 of
sign
them
it.
I just got first thing this morning.
Yeah.
They were all 3 of them were slow getting me the written bids.
We can get that on the agenda to be signed for next Tuesday if that works.
That's fine.
And then
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. This is gonna be fun. Multifunction printer consolidation discussion. It's gonna take,
This would be as
Doesn't have
short
to
as
take
you
a
want
long
it to be. I don't have anything new on this, just kind of trying to figure out where we're going. The last time we discussed this, we had the 3 vendors in to kind of do their little presentations. Since that, as far as any involvement I've had, anytime someone's needed a new machine, we've simply got their needs spelled out, what they currently have, and then sent that out, and then taken it on a bid-by-bid basis, and that's what we've been doing. Do we want to continue doing it that way, or did you guys want to continue on with the consolidation idea?
think part of the problem is everybody's still buying different stuff. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not-
I like the
nobody's buying the same thing.
concept of consolidating them, but
But the thing is, now we've got so many new machines that to enter into anything with one particular vendor, I don't know how that leaves everybody with what they just bought. You know, that's the difficult part. Because I know like the sheriff just put in
We've gotten a few, probably 3 or 4 for them in the last few months.
And they're from like
PA's office just got a new
GFI, and
one.
I don't know where the PAs came from.
Theirs came, sheriff's office came from Datacom. GFI was PA.
The PA's paying for his own.
Yeah, but
Yeah, the sheriff probably did too, I don't know. But like I said though, the whole concept is still, you have all these departments with their own stuff, and obviously elected officials can do whatever they want to do, I guess, with their money, so. I mean, do we just do it for the part that you guys control, or is it for the whole county, so. I don't know, I mean, that's why I've never really pursued it too hard, it's just kind of, you know, I don't know, we're in a one-size-fits-all situation.
Well, definitely one size doesn't fit all. But if we did something and said, you know, if you need this one, we're going to go with this type of, with this manufacturer or this supplier or whatever. And ultimately we do have some control because, you know, they're going to submit a maintenance contract or something and we can say no. So, you know, if they're not going to, I mean, all of these do similar things, so.
Yeah,
that-
and they do, I mean, and why, I don't see what the prices are or anything, so I don't know that there's significant differences in what they're paying for each unit or whatever, but, I mean, it makes sense in a, a way to, obviously to have one vendor because you got one call, doesn't matter, if somebody's got a problem, they know that we always call this, this group of people and they come and fix it or whatever. And that's really helpful, but, we've got new ones, we've got old ones, we've got everything in between. And it seems like when you start onto something, we need to kind of start all over and get everybody on a common footing and then, proceed forward. But, that's just my opinion. I mean, we can do it however you guys want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, there's no way we can replace all of them.
And we did have problems with, I would say my problem with them, was the printer part of it. Now, the copier, multifunction things, they all seem to work fine, but the printers, we've had issues. And I know Larry went through 2 or 3 different kinds of printers, and when we finally got back to the HPs, I think things have worked pretty well. But we had Laniers and what's some other ones you had? And it just didn't work right, you think it would, but it doesn't. So that's why I'm in favor of keeping the printers we get them off the state contract for very good price, in my opinion. And I don't know that we'll, by buying a printer through these companies and then, having to buy the toner and paying all the maintenance costs and everything on them, I don't know if that in the long run saves money. But on the big units that cost thousands and thousands of dollars, then that's a different, to me, a different discussion. So. But,
Well, I mean, so you're talking about the desktop
Right.
printers, basically. And so we got desktop printers, we got scanners, we got fax machines, we got, I mean, everything under the sun.
And most of the big units are really designed for a department.
Right.
But you find most departments don't really want everybody to use one thing because that involves activity. Go out and use it, Everybody wants one on their desk.
I mean, it just seems really odd and not, that we don't use these big units as more of a network type printer.
Right.
I mean, we got all these printers that we can throw stuff to, and I get why people want printers on their desks, and certain people probably need those. But it just seems like we could consolidate a lot.
Absolutely, I mean, and that's their purpose. Their purpose is, if you did it, it's truly a departmental, like, these 10 people use this unit, then you're gonna save a lot of money, because you don't have all the consumables, you know, times however many units you have and that kind of stuff. But I don't find that in many departments. I mean, EMS, Jennifer's office is one of the few that really, to me, they have a multifunction printer up front. Bill uses it, well, not, but Bill uses it, and Jennifer uses it and all that. Mike, so, I mean, they all do it, and they walk over and do it, but Larry has one, but they have their individual ones too, but he has a common one, but they don't use that one for much as printing or anything, it's super common.
We use it most for scanning copies. We do some print jobs too.
So it's a philosophy as much as a cost. I mean, if you have everybody buy into it, the one unit makes total sense.
I mean, the only way that I see that we could ever go to this is that you start from, say, today, and as you go forward, we're going to buy this unit, and, you know, I don't know how that works year out after year, because the prices are going to change and the units are going to change.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how long is the contract going to be?
Well, they're all cooperative procurement, so they're all adjusted, you know, as needed through that. So it
But-
would always be under contract, under bid.
I don't have a life expectancy, but we've had printers, I mean, we finally junked one of our offices 1999.
Oh.
So, you know, it's not, we don't change these things every year. I mean, they have a pretty long life. But the ones that, you know, you get from the companies, I think they get rid of those more frequently, but I don't know if that's because of the agreements they have or whatever. But if we sign some kind of contract, I don't know if we just start today, we might not even replace any machines before the contract's over. you
Yeah,
know?
that's what I was wondering, if they're gonna be happy with us
Yeah.
just doing a little one here and then not do anything, and 3 months later
Yeah,
we
and I
do
get it,
another.
but
I don't know if that's cost effective for them.
I don't know how to answer that, I really don't.
Until you get that buy-in, until every department wants to consolidate, I don't think the cooperative thing is going to be advantageous, because you're already getting a good price, no matter where they go now, because they're all state bid. So I don't think that would help unless the department was really gonna, consolidate their machines in their office.
Weren't a lot of the prices that we got here, Jennifer, though, lower than state contract?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, they are lower, they're not taking their state bid.
Like, I know Datacom was the lowest, but remember, there were some, I'm not really sure who some of the comments were directed at, to be honest with you, but there were some concerns, if you remember. But whenever they bid those, I know that Datacom went off of a program they had started with MU, and yeah, they were lower than the state contract.
And I'm just thinking of next year's budget, and I don't even know if they have a printer on the budget for next year for anybody.
Yeah, because they're all buying them now.
Well, we've purchased quite a few in the last couple of years, and like I said, they generally last quite a while, printer-wise. Now, that's not talking about the multifunctionals, so those are handled differently, so that's what I can address on that. See, like, what they've been buying has been the scanner, printer copier scanner from units. And the PA just replaced two, like 2 weeks ago. Sheriff has got two, just replaced. But they're all multi-function because they're wanting to do scanners and stuff like that. So, but they're a department that actually does use one device for the area. So that makes sense. Patrol area's got one printer or one multifunction device. And Betsy's on her desk, John and the sheriff and Betsy all use that printer. So, you know, those make sense in those areas, but if everybody still has the one on their desk, that's where the bulk of the printers are.
So we need to reject the bids, or we need to do something?
I mean, everyone just kind of wonders every time we
Yeah.
bid something out, you know, all the people that spent the time doing it, they just wonder, is it moving forward? Are we burying it? You know,
I mean, to me, the one thing, I don't know if it's even doable, but get a, you know, find a good contract and see, you know, but I don't know if we're forced to buy so many units, so much toner, so much whatever, but over the course of time, and then when somebody in the county is going to do something, then they would do that from that point. But, you know, like I said, we might not get any for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's worth entering a contract where they would even do that. So that's a question I, you know, don't have an answer on.
Maybe we need to go back to them and ask them if they're, yeah, this could go on for a long time before we do.
Even use it, yeah.
Um,
See, I know that Chris Estes, so the assessors has purchased maintenance through, I don't know who it is. GFI, but anyway, he's put maintenance on all his
There he knows.
printers, but he didn't change any of the equipment as far as I know. We still have all the printers that we bought, that we own over there. But that's the only,
So we've got some maintenance contracts on some of these already that we have to honor.
and I don't know how long it is.
We don't have to honor anything. It's a 1-year appropriation. Well, I mean, you know, if we want to work together and try to save the county some money, I think there's an opportunity to do it here. But if we don't want to work together, just like what tagline said, working together. If we don't want to work together, then, you know, we can cost the taxpayers more dollars. Pretty simple. I mean, that doesn't mean that everybody's got the convenience of having a printer on their desk. You got to get your butt up and go get what you printed. That's not always the most efficient, and I'll give you that. So I do think certain people need a printer on their desk. And I think for the most part, we got all those. And most of them are HPs, right? And we've had pretty good luck with those.
Should we select one of the three that gave us bids and then meet with them and just see if they're comfortable with working?
and I mean, kind of the way I see it, they just put a little list together, different sort of, you know, lower grades to higher grades depending on the needs. And then basically whenever it's time to get a new one, you just kind of choose from that little menu of options, you know. And they'll be able to direct you to the correct machine for your application.
Yeah, it's very hard to grasp who's low.
There should be, I don't have it in front of me, and to be honest, I haven't looked at it in a while. There should be on the front page, on the front tab, right, isn't there a tab on the far left?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the cover page that should say, spell out the totals. Datacom was low.
Overview. The overview.
Yeah,
Well, right, that was if we replaced all of them, right?
that was, yeah. I mean, not that we're going to do that, but that was just something to look at to ascertain who was low, I guess.
And of course, I look at it a little bit differently. I mean, and I don't know that you can take a total cost of an outright purchase versus a total lease cost or whatever. I mean, what I would look at is a cost per copy, which you have broke out there. I mean, what is it costing us for each copy?
Well, and that, I should have looked at it before I came. I think that's on there, and that's calculated in based on the machines that they offered, and then that third-party review site, like the average copies annually on those. Cost per copy is calculated in on that overview tab.
Right.
So it's both.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, there's a broad range from, I guess I'm looking at this right, from 3 thousandths or 0.3 cents, I guess, what it'd be per copy to 0.8 cents per copy. Is that right?
Yeah. And it's broken out by black and white.
And it says 0.0037 for black and white. And I'm just kind of looking at different sum. So, I mean, that's 0.3 of a cent. Is that
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
To 0.8 of a cent. So.
You're looking at it right? Yep.
So, I mean, that's.
I think the concept is great, but I don't know how we do it.
Well, I think ideally, if you had your offices set up right, it would help. And I'm not saying everybody has to redo their offices, but, you know, we've remodeled a old bank here and we've made it work and we have that in other places too. You know, the health department's tight and so you having access to a multifunction that's close would be ideal. But if we don't want to do anything on it, I'm okay with that too. I mean, just keep doing the same thing we're doing, but. Any thoughts?
I'd
Making
just
your
keep
head
doing-
hurt?
I'd just keep doing what we're doing. Got, what, 12 elected officials and several other different departments and trying to keep it all the same. I don't know, none of the departments or offices are the same, so. I think it was a
I
good
mean,
concept.
None of these vendors offer HP products.
Yeah, that one's kind of out of the equation. I
And
mean,
I choose HP because I have the least problems with them. I can get the fastest printers, and you know, for my office, I need, when the girls are at the window working, I need the printer to kick out the information as quick as it can. I would be, of course, you all don't pay for my stuff anyway, but I would be reluctant to change, not knowing, because I have used other printers at the window that have not functioned near as good and have caused me problems. Printer quality is very important for us also because we scan everything we print. And some of them have made the images are not as good as what we get out of the HP, and the scanner doesn't pick up the information.
so let's just do away with very expensive multifunction units and let's just buy all HPs.
Like I said, I don't know why, I mean, I think what's happening is everybody's wanting a departmental copier, but with multifunction, then they get the scanner built in. And I don't know how many do or don't actually have printing going on. I mean, it's available, but sometimes they don't. I know EMS does, but because that's their main, that's about the only unit they have, so they do all of it, but a lot of them are just doing scanning and copying. And it just happens that the third thing is a printer, but it doesn't mean they use it again.
So how many people do large bulk printing with stapling and everything else? And can all that be done on a network type multi-function unit?
That's pretty much, yeah. The bulk, I know that, like over at civil processing, and Larry said he does, but civil processing, they'll print out, 500 or 1,000 sheets, on a regular cycle. They get it collated and print, or stapled. Yeah. So it's pretty involved. And I know they've had some issues with some of their, I think maybe they had one that didn't work right, and they had to get it replaced or something. It just wouldn't do what they wanted it to do or something. But, no, those are big jobs now. That wouldn't be a typical department, but they do big runs, every month. They, have, I don't know, what is their garnishments or, I'm speaking out of turn what exactly what it is, but it's big. And it takes, it sits there for a long time taking care of the paper.
Gonna punt?
I don't think we're gonna be able to make any decision today.
Well, we need to, I mean, if we're gonna keep doing it the same way we're doing it, we need to let Jennifer know so that she can let these people know that, like, we're not gonna pursue that, you know. Just like to work with one vendor, but it's just
Yeah,
gonna be very
I think at
difficult.
this time, I don't know how we can do it. I don't know.
So bury it.
Yeah, put it with our pauper funerals.
Concrete over.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we need to reject them.
It was informal because they're
Okay.
state bid, so it was just a
But
matter of,
thank them.
But it was better than state bid though, wasn't it?
yes.
Yeah, thank them for,
They cannot exceed the state bid, but
Okay.
it was based off cooperative procurement.
Okay, good enough.
yeah,
Thank them for their time and effort.
yeah, that's,
I'll do that. Thank you.
Thanks.
okay. Any other issues to come before the commission?
You gonna sing happy birthday to Christy?
Is it your birthday?
Is it?
50. I can.
Is it your birthday?
Older than her.
Happy birthday.
It's Kara's birthday too. Larry's down there having cake and ice cream without us probably. Or his LV. He snuck out.
He's wanting us to paint his office?
Uh-huh. Yeah, we don't get any cake and ice cream.
Now we
Who
get
else got
donuts.
Any other birthdays? Packers won. Jeff, you're happy. Who's? Oh, yeah.
I don't have them now.
I know, you blame that on me.
Do you have anything else to come before the commission?
I was gonna give you your birthday off, but since you don't have them anymore.
Move we recess until 4:30?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Christie, did they show up?
You want me to?
You were out of the room.
I-